I'm Kat and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do another video of what it's like to work in an adult store. I made a video like this a long time ago. Different house, different hair. Still had my thyroid issue, like my little lump here. Now it's been replaced by a scar. So it's been a while. But I wanted to do another video like this because I hit my 2-year mark at my job on the 31st of January, which for me is actually really impressive because I used to be a job hopper and never stayed at a job for longer than a few months. So it's really actually kind of cool to still be where I'm at. But there are things that do come with working in the industry that I do work in that a lot of people just don't understand or don't really think of. And things that are really kind of gross, kind of cool, and also just kind of weird. So basically, I work in the sex industry. That's kind of what I do. But mostly we want to broaden from that. We don't just want to be known as a store that sells adult toys. We want to be in a store that is really bra forward, lingerie forward, but also we want to be very knowledge based, and we want you to have more of an experience. We want you to leave the store with knowledge in mind, feeling good about yourself, because we want to promote body positivity, because all of us where I work are women, and we want everybody, not just women, but everyone to feel very good about themselves. But also, we want them to leave with some knowledge and some insight, and we also want them to have an experience, because we're taught as humans to, especially females, and I guess men too, are taught that we're wrong for certain sexual desires. Of course, there are lines and things that are wrong, but women and people are taught that basically we're not supposed to be sexual beings for pleasure. We're only supposed to be sexual beings for making people, which is not always the case. Yes, we are built to make humans, but we are also, why would we have the nerve endings and the ability to feel pleasure that we do if we weren't supposed to? And it's not wrong to be, I guess, sexually awakened. It is not wrong to feel that way, because not only is it pleasurable, it's good for your mind, it's great for depression and anxiety. If you can't sleep, it's a healthy thing. It's great for stress. So it is healthy to be sexually active. Just do it smart, do it safe, and don't put yourself or anybody else in danger. And where I work, we like to promote that it is not wrong to be a sexual being. It is not wrong to want to be sexy or to want to feel good about yourself, and that anybody who tells you otherwise is wrong and an idiot and probably is insecure, which that's not what we want to teach. That's just my thought process. But we want people to have a good experience and to walk into our store and leave our store feeling uplifted, feeling accepted, and feeling like there's nothing wrong with them, because there's nothing wrong with being who you are, whatever choice you make, whatever sexuality, whatever way you see yourself. And so it's really hard to explain in such a way that is like the way that I want people to understand. Because yes, we do sell adult toys, but we want people to be educated on those things, about what's the good materials, what's safe for your body, what's not safe for your body, how to stay safe sexually, how to use something without hurting yourself, like what to do if that does happen, you know, what certain things are for, stuff like that. We mostly, I know for me, I want to sell knowledge more than a product, because the more that they know, the better. Because there's a lot of people that come into our store that don't know anything. It's absolutely crazy that women come into our store not knowing what they like, how to pleasure themselves, or even like what a G-spot is, if we're gonna be quite frank. Like, it's crazy that that happens, and I think it's because from a young age, women, especially in the state that I live in, which is Utah, women are taught that it's wrong to be a sexual creature, to be sexy, and to be a goddess like we are. We're taught that it's wrong. And so it blows my mind that women don't know these things, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise me. especially since in my state, some schools do not teach sexual education, and a lot of the schools need the parental consent, and a lot of the parents will not consent to these children having these sexual ed, which, when kids know more about things, then they're not going into it blind. Of course, it's not going to stop young pregnancy. It's not going to stop STD, like, spreading, but they're going to know more. When a kid goes in blind to the world, the sexual world, there is a higher chance of them putting themselves in danger, or their partner or whoever they're with in danger, than if they know what the hell they're talking about. Like, there have been people in my life that it's just, I think it's crazy that people think that if they know about sex, it's going to make them have sex. And it's like, I would rather, like, people know about sex and they say things about sex and it make them have sex, than them have sex with absolutely no knowledge and then be in a situation that they can't get out of. And I luckily grew up in a family that was very open with that kind of thing and wanted us to learn about all that. And my sister and I didn't really have to have the talk with our parents because my sister and I were curious and we took sex ed classes and stuff like that. So I just really wish that places, like, especially my state, were more open about it. But also, sex ed only teaches about hetero sex. I think they need to start teaching about other kinds of sex, because they don't. Like, they might talk about, like, self-pleasure, but they don't really talk about, like, homosexual sex. Basically, they don't talk about sex that is between a man and a man. They don't talk about sex with a man and a woman. They don't talk about sex with a person that has a disability, or a person who just transitioned from male to female, or vice versa. They don't talk about any of those things. They don't talk about people, like, you know, really going deep into having sex with a person who has an STD, like the steps that need to be taken during that. They don't talk about the steps that need to be taken just in case, like, a condom was forgot to put on, or a condom was did break, or having sex with someone who does have an STD and they didn't tell you in the steps to take with that. Like, there are so many things in the sex world that are overshadowed that people should talk about more, and they don't. They don't talk about it. And it's so sad when this gay kid is about to, like, maybe he's about to have sex with his partner, and he watches porn because he's curious about how it works, and that is going to scare the hell out of him, because porn is not real. Porn is real, but it's not real. Okay? And it teaches kids and adults that sex is a certain way, and that is not okay. Which brings me to, there's this website, and it's called OMG Yes, and it's basically a website that is freaking just amazing. So it's a website that teaches people who have vulvas, who like vulvas, like men or women, how to properly pleasure, basically, a vagina, in a sense. And it's amazing because they got a bunch of women together, thousands of women, to actually talk about the right way to pleasure a female or a vulva owner. Because there are so many videos out there that are porn related that show someone pleasuring a vulva aggressively, and then younger people are going to think that's how you do it. And so this takes that world, smacks it in the face, and then shows people, no, this is how it works, this is the right way to do it, this is the safest way to do it, and this is how you're going to get maximized pleasure without potentially hurting your partner. And I like it because the first season just concentrates externally on vulva owners, and it's go internally, and then they're going to broaden on men, they're going to broaden on how to pleasure a man, how they're going to pleasure, and like people with disabilities, stuff like that. They're going to broaden so much and show people the right way to pleasure someone in a safe way that is not terrifying. So there's just so much that is wrong with the sex world that needs to be fixed, and needs to be taken, and needs to be shown and talked about, because sex does not have to be scary. The only reason it just doesn't. Sex does not have to be scary. It doesn't have to be. Of course, there should be thoughts. You should be sure that it's something that you want. There should be consent. 100% there should be consent, but it doesn't have to be scary. And it shouldn't be. And I think people are terrified of sex on some level. And it's because we have been taught from a really young age. But I've been talking for 10 minutes about this, and I haven't even talked about what it's like to work at an adult store. So basically, we're just gonna jump right into that. Working in an adult store, it's a whole different kind of retail. So you have your normal retail, which is just like Walmart, stuff like that. And then you have working in a sex industry. People think that they can treat us a certain way because we work in the industry that we do. So I know I've mentioned this before, but people treat us like we're a bunch of hoes that sell dildos, basically. And it really sucks because the way that we get talked to, the way that we get approached, people think they can touch us, people think they can stand close to us. It's like, no, like you wouldn't go to a different store, I would hope, and talk to someone like that. Like, I've had people be really inappropriate, and then when I tell them not to be inappropriate, they don't understand, and they've told me, well, we're in an adult store, we're in a sex store, so why is it not okay? And it's like, because I'm a human being, and there's other human beings around you, and you need to be respectful, because you should be talking to me like I'm a person and like a human being, and not like I'm not. Like, I would rather you not talk to me at all, or not speak at all, and not be in my store at all. Because it is not okay to act that way. Or people will think that it's okay to touch up on each other. No, I don't care if you're hugging, I don't care if you're holding hands, I don't care if you're kissing. But when you're literally, you have your hands up the front of your girlfriend's shirt, that's where I'm like, no, that is not okay. It is not okay to do that. Because I don't care if we're in an adult store. It is not appropriate. It is not respectful, and there are other people around here that don't want to see that, and quite frankly, I don't want to see that. Like, I know that I sell a bunch of things that kind of is going to get you all frisky, but you can wait till you get home. And when I have to tell people it's not appropriate, please stop, same thing, we're in an adult store. Or another fun thing, because this happened, was we had to stop people from having sex in our parking lot. Like, literally, Cliff Notes version, there was a car, there was two people that came in separate cars, so I don't know what that means. But they got in one car, and they had been sitting in the car for like over an hour, and I started to get concerned. And so, you know, I walked out there and I noticed that, you know, she's on his lap. And I had to, one of my coworkers interrupted them. And it's like, I don't know if you're having an affair, I don't know what this is, but it is not okay to have sex in our parking lot just because we're an adult store. Like, go to a different parking lot. Go to the Arby's parking lot that's next door. Go to a Walmart parking lot. I don't care, but do not have sex in our parking lot. All because we're an adult store doesn't mean it's okay. And this is starting to turn into things that's annoying about working in an adult store, which that's not the case. Because I meet more nice and amazing people than I do meet creepy, gross people. I have had my eyes and my horizons and my spectrum opened so much because I always thought that I was open, like an open sexual being anyway. And then I started working here and I realized that there's so much more that can open my mind to things. And it's like, I help educate people, but people also help educate me because there are certain things that I have no idea about. And some people, and a lot of people, it's like when you give them interest, when you're like, hey, I don't know what that is, and they're like, oh my God, let me tell you. Like, I think it's really cool being able to talk to people about this. And it makes me feel really good about myself knowing that I'm someone that a stranger can talk to about something and I know I mentioned this in my other video, talking to someone about something so intimate and so vulnerable is scary. And I like the fact that I'm someone, and that everybody that works where I work, all the girls, are people that they can talk to about these things. And I do think it's partly because this is what we do, and, you know, being weird is kind of, you'd have to be pretty weird. But it has to be very scary talking to someone about what you like sexually, because you know that it could go one of three ways. Either someone's not going to respond and not care, someone's going to judge you hella, or they're going to accept it and help you. And everybody where I work is accept it and help you, no matter what you say. I had a lady ask me if we had rope long enough to tie her up to a tree because she had a Sasquatch fetish. And I'm over here like, yeah, we got a lot of rope that's long enough for that. Hell yeah. Let me give you a rope that's safe and not chafing. You know, but so she could tell that to someone else, which I guarantee she has said that to someone else, and they've judged her harshly. And that's really sad. I don't kink shame. We don't kink shame. There is a line of things that are wrong that go without saying. But I don't kink shame. None of us do. And when you work in an adult store, if you're someone who's interested in working in an adult store, you have to be someone who isn't just open with your own sexuality, because it really helps when you're open with your own sexuality and who you are. You have to be open to the fact that there are other kinds of sexualities and branches off of those sexualities and branches off of those sexualities. If you're someone who can't accept the fact that someone has a specific strange sexuality, then it's not an environment you should work in. If it's something that makes you uncomfortable when they ask you a certain question or something about themselves, you shouldn't work there. You know, like, you need thick skin. You need thick skin in retail anyway. With customer service, thick skin should be a requirement. But working in an adult store in the sex industry, you have to have thick skin because of the kind of people you're going to work with and because of the kind of people that you are going to be around and the way they're going to talk about you, because you are going to get those people that are going to be weird and creepy and want to push up on you. Like, that's one thing that I don't understand is, I work here so you think you can touch me, because there are times where people will touch me and it's like, okay, there is a difference between someone who's just touching me like joke, haha, touch me, or like touch me to get my attention. But don't put your hand on my shoulder while we're talking and start squishing it up against my body. Don't do that, because first of all, do not touch me. I didn't say it's okay for you to touch me. And the way that I feel, which can be completely wrong, the way that I feel is if someone I don't know touches me without my consent, even if someone touches me that I do know that touches me without my consent, that gives me the right to hit you. Now, it doesn't necessarily give me the right to hit you, but in my world, it does. If you touch me without my consent and also makes me uncomfortable, then you can be damn sure that I'm going to tell you not to touch me, I'm going to move away from you, or if I want to, I may punch you in the face. Don't touch me. All because I work somewhere, all because we work somewhere that happens to deal with this situation and deal with sex, does not give you the right to get super close and all up in my bubble and touch my body with your body, or to touch me at all. It's very simple. PSA, if you're someone who's going to an adult store, do not touch the person there. Now, that goes without saying to me. Now, it's different if, like, say I'm helping someone put on a bra or someone put on a corset. I will always ask them if it's okay if I touch them. Ask them if it's okay if I'm in the dressing room with them. Ask them if it's okay if I help them at all. And I will tell them, okay, I'm gonna go and clasp this bra, I'm gonna go and tie these ties. If that's what it is when you feel me touching you, I'm trying to clasp this bra or readjust it for you. That is completely different to me, because I'm asking. If they tell me no, I'm not okay with that, or no, please don't touch me, no, then I'm like, okay, then I'm not gonna get all up in your bubble. I'm not gonna try to convince you. I will tell you with certain corsets, since it is a high dollar item, we do like to tie people in it because it's so expensive. But if you're not comfortable with that, then I'm not going to push it. There is a difference. But if someone is like, I'm just gonna touch you because you work here and this is okay, like, no, it's not okay. Also, it's not okay to talk about people and their asses. It's not okay to do that in any sense of the word or life. But a lot of that happens where I work. But anyway, the way that I'm painting this is, it's terrible to work in an adult store, and it's not. It's not. There are just things that I don't like about it. So maybe this video will be things that annoy me about working in an adult store. But in all reality, my job is very cool. Now, there are things that I don't like about it, things that are frustrating, but at the same time, that could be anywhere that you work. Absolutely anywhere. It doesn't matter. And customer service and retail work is really hard, and I think a lot of people forget about that. I think a lot of people think that, oh, it's just retail work. But you have to deal with people. And dealing with people is one of the most tiring things, because it is emotionally and mentally and physically draining. But in reality, my job is amazing. I work with amazing people who always have my back, who aren't afraid to rock the boat if they have to, that give the most amazing advice and always educate me on things in life and at work and help me get through things that I don't think I could get through. I learn something new from each and every one of those beautiful girls every single day. I get to work with people that I also consider really close friends and that I hope I get to keep in my life for a long time, even if I don't work there anymore after a while. I love the people that I meet. I meet so many amazing people who bring such light to my life. I could have such a horrible day, and then I could have an amazing experience with someone, and it'll just change everything about my day. And the feeling of making someone feel good about themselves and helping them realize how amazing they are is one of the coolest things ever. And where I work is amazing because we promote body positivity and sexual positivity. And I think we are a safe place to be able to express that. And I love that we are a place that you can express that unapologetically. Apologetically. Because there's so many places in the world that you can't express that at all. And we are a place that you can. And you won't get judged. And like, we'll have men come in that are cross-dressers or are, drag queens. And they'll at first be kind of like iffy about talking about it. And then we're all like, yeah, like I think we all love dressing up men because it is super exciting, because it's like, I love dressing up women too, like because women are gorgeous and goddesses and beautiful, but I love dressing up men because it's such a whole different world. It's a whole different spectrum of colors and shapes and sizes and possibilities. And as a woman, it's like I kind of know what I like as a woman and what other women might potentially like, but when it's a guy, it's like a whole different thing, and it's so much fun. And I think it's cool being a place that a guy who's wanting to get into this world can come, and all of us are like, hell yeah, like let's do it, let's get you a wig, let's get you a dress, let's get you all these things, let's make you feel and be as beautiful as you are. And let's show the world who you really are, and let's don't be afraid to be who you are. And I think at the root of everything working in the adult industry where I work is don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to express yourself, and just be you. And don't let people tell you otherwise. Don't let someone tell you you can't wear a certain piece of lingerie because you're a plus size girl. Don't let someone tell you you can't use a certain toy because it's wrong or gross. Don't let someone tell you that you can't wear a certain piece of beautiful lingerie because you're a guy. Like, don't do that. We want to promote you being you and loving you and being just who you want to be. And there's not enough places that are like that. And so I guess what it's like to work at an adult store is there are things that are super stressful and creepy and weird, but there are so many good things that I can't even express in words. It's such a feeling that I couldn't put in words. And I know the very beginning of the video was me kind of complaining about certain things, and I guess in a way it's what it's like to work at an adult store and things that annoy me about it, which that's probably what it's gonna be. But I love where I work. I love our company. I love the people that I work with. I love our brand, even though it's kind of odd, and I kind of look forward to how it goes in the future. And it's made me into a person that I never thought I would be. It's helped me find a sense of confidence that I never thought I would, and that is amazing. And it's kind of hard to not find confidence working somewhere that's so positive, body positive, and embracing who you are, and working with people and women, strong, beautiful, and amazing women who are such individuals and love who they are and embrace who they are. And as I said, I learn something from them every day. But yeah, so so I'm gonna go. I have to go make a phone call because I keep getting a call from the same number since I've been making this video. I also need to go make food. First I have to buy the food and then I have to make the food. And my leg is going to sleep. So yeah. So that is what it's like to work in an adult store, and the things that annoy me about it and the things that are good about it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, I guess. And there was supposed to be more structure, but I guess once I started talking and I started feeling more passionate about certain things, it kind of went off track, and now there's no getting it back. But yeah, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about my job, I'd be more than happy to talk about them. I have been thinking about maybe making videos that are kind of educational in a way, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a specialist, and I'm definitely not perfect at my job, but I do have knowledge that I would love to give. So, I mean, I've been thinking about making videos like that, so if anybody's interested, please let me know. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, a beautiful night, and this is Kat signing off. Goodbye. Oh, my jacket.
Just levitate.